Hey, this is Sam here from samnuku.com, and I want to thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this training. This particular training, we're going to go into 7 email list building tips that I recently learned or relearned anyways from a master marketer that I believe will help you in your marketing game. All right. So email list building tip number 1 is to be relational, not transactional. Now, the best way to build a free list is to actually be relationally based, right? Unless you've got thousands and thousands of dollars that you can continue to reinvest to buy a ton of people to get onto your list, this is the absolute best way to do it. And quite frankly, even those people who do spend a lot of that sort of money do have free list building strategies that they go about doing as well. So that's why it's so important to be relationally focused rather than transactionally focused, which means you want to focus more on building the relationship and you want to do it through engagement. Social media these days really allows us to get into that so much more deeper than we've ever been able to do before, right? Rather than focusing on how much money you can make from a particular post, focus on the relationship that you can build with that person. It's going to give you a much higher ROI in the longer term than simply focusing on how much money you can extract or get from them per se. Okay, so email list building number 2 is you want to be narrow and deep, not wide and shallow. This is just as much of a mind shift as it is a strategy. Okay, so you want to be focusing more on quality, not on quantity. I made the mistake when I first joined of thinking, simply because of the amount of some of the trainings that I was going through based on these gurus, so to speak, when they used to talk about the size of the list, the list, the money that you make is in the size of your list, but that's not true. It's actually in the relationship that you build with that list, right? And my first big commissions of $1,700 plus came when I only had 6 people on my email marketing list. So when it comes to email list building, you really want to focus on quantity, not quality, right? I've heard people that, they go out and they buy these gigantic lists and they find out that, most of them have just been scraped from a website. In other words, they've been taken without permission, right? Or they go ahead and they buy these quote unquote solo ads to give them a ton of subscribers. And then they find out, out of 100 subscribers, only 1 or 2 people actually read the emails and then they unsubscribe, right? Not only have I heard that, but I've actually experienced that myself. So I'm here to tell you to focus on quality, not quantity. Be narrow, right, in your focus and go deep on it, not wide and shallow. And that's actually also a principle that's applicable to your marketing as well. So when you start out marketing, not just your email list building, but when you start out marketing, focus on one particular channel at a time. Like focus on one long-term strategy and one short-term strategy, right? So a short-term strategy, for example, could be trying to prospect people on Facebook and trying to get them to join you, but also have a back-end long-term strategy. It could be like, for example, training videos like this, or it could be something like blog posts. Okay, I would suggest doing one of each and focusing on that until you really nailed it down. Once you've nailed it down, because it's all about building success habits. Once you've nailed that down, once you've brought that focus down and you've gone narrow and deep, then expand to a second one. For example, either the videos or the blog posts is long term and maybe Instagram as your new short term. Okay, so my second big commission actually came and I made over $1,300 from that particular customer because of this narrow and deep focus. I focused on building a relationship. I focused on building a quality email marketing list as opposed to just building a big one. Okay, so you can make big commissions on small lists. Right? In fact, there's a course that I know that's going to be coming out in the next year or so that is going to be absolutely kick-ass. You want to talk about a high ROI? That's a course that you really want to be focused on. I can get you details on that in the future when it's coming. I absolutely plan to promote it. Reason being is because I know the quality of the training that's coming with it. Okay, so keep an eye out for that one. Now, email list building tip number 3. When is someone a customer? This is a question that was brought up and a very fair question. And I'm here to tell you that the moment that they spend $1, these people become customers. Now, the bad news in 2017 is that email list building has never been harder, right? It's never been harder to get someone to actually spend any money, even $1 for that matter, because our BS meters are up, right? We're so sick of, cyberbullying. We're so sick of being taken advantage of. We're so sick of being hacked, our accounts being copied. Everybody's been through some form of being ripped off online, of being scammed online per se. But the good news is that it's easier than ever to get repeat customers, right? Because once we build that trust, and again, I go back to tip number two. This is why it's so important to be tip number one. Why it's so important to be focused on that relationship instead of that transaction. Is because of technology, right? And because of the amount of spammers out there, people just saying, "Hey, look, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit." We're so sick and tired of that. We really are. We all are, right? We want people who actually care about us and our business and are going to help us. They're going to give us tips. They're going to answer our questions. They're going to, say, "Hey, look, you shouldn't really be doing this. You should probably be more focused on that." We want someone that's going to build a relationship with us, whether it's through them being a coach or them being a mentor, right? We're tired of just being someone who's seen as money. We're tired of someone who's seen as a number on a list, which is why direct marketers these days are struggling and content-based value-giving marketers are really, really lapping it up. Okay. So the good news, again, the bad news is that it's harder than ever to get anyone to spend $1, which is when they actually become a customer. Because if they're willing to spend $1, trust me, they're willing to spend a whole lot more. The good news is, however, it's easier than ever to get them to repeat and continue to make more and more money from them moving forward, because once you've earned their trust, they're yours until you screw that up. Okay, so don't do that. So, email list building tip number 4, 90% will be an embarrassment. Okay, so at some point you're going to have to get into paid list building, right? Now, you're still going to be value focused, right? You're still going to be focused on that relationship, but you're going to have to invest in order to scale your business, right? You can't you can't afford to forever have one subscriber a week, and hope to be able to turn those 52 subscribers in 1 year into, thousands of dollars. It's not going to happen, right? What you want to do is you want to invest in some sort of advertising, whether it's Google paid ads, Bing advertising, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter. Okay, choose one. Again, narrow and deep. Remember, choose one, focus on it, master it, and then build from there. So majority of ads do actually fail. In fact, nearly 90% of them, to be honest. And what I mean by fail is that they fail to return the ROI to be able to actually make some sort of money. But the mindset is this: nine set of no, let's say 9 as your ads that you actually test out mean minus $790. Now, I'll give this a full breakdown in the actual blog post that you can check out if you really want to. Okay, there is a lot more detail there than there is in this video. But let's say, for example, the 9 failed ads cost you $790, but you have one winning ad, which could mean $1,300 plus dollars, like I said, in the profits that I've experienced. Okay, and trust me, I've made more from probably a handful of other customers that have been worth a lot more than $1,300. Okay, just to give you an idea of what to expect. Okay, so that's over $500 worth of profits, and technically you've just failed 90% of the time. So what that means is you need to keep that mindset, right, which we're going to talk about in the next tip. You need to be able to keep that mindset of, hey, yes, it's going to fail, but I'll adjust, I'll learn. I'm going to fail, adjust, and I'll learn, and eventually I'm going to hit something, and once it hits, it's going to hit big, and that's where you make your money. Okay, so list building tip number 5: what is your main focus? When it comes to your email list building, you really need to focus on what it is that you're actually doing. A lot of people do actually focus on likes, on subs, on subscribers, on shares, on comments. Like, that's cool to have a whole different focus. Like, for example, my YouTube channel, I focus completely on subscribers, right? Same thing with my blog, but when it comes to YouTube and Instagram, I focus on likes, shares, engagement, and stuff like that. So you really need to focus on the fact that this is all about email list building, which means you want to focus on subscribers. And again, I go back to this point: you want to focus on quality over quantity. I would rather have 100 engaged email list subscribers than 10,000 who just open an email here or there, because those 100 are going to become tribes. They're going to become part of your fan base that you're going to be able to build your $1 million business out of. Okay, so email list building number 6. This is what I alluded to in point number 4, is that you want to be able to test. I spoke before on getting your mind right and understanding that 90% of ads will fail. In fact, I believe 90% of entrepreneurs fail on and offline, within a couple of years. And the reason being is that they're just not tough enough. They just don't have the right mindset about what it is that they're actually doing. They just think that, yep, you can get involved and you can make, click a few buttons and, spend $10 on Facebook ads and bang, you're going to make $1 million. It doesn't work that way. You have to be willing to test and test and test until, okay? Until when? Until you succeed, right? So you really need to get your mind right, right? That 90% of ads do actually fail, that 95% of entrepreneurs fail because they decide to quit. And you must be willing to continue to test everything that's put in front of you. Test your landing page, test your blog posts, test your videos, and make sure that you continue to build something that you're going to be able to make a lot of money out of in the future. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, email list building tip number 7, the latest and greatest crave is live events are power now. Okay, once upon a time, it used to be teleseminars. I remember attending them, right, where you'd actually get online through a phone number of some sort, or you actually had to do it on your phone. Yes, I've done it on both. And, you would listen to someone giving a presentation and then they would offer something at the end. Then it shifted to webinars. Webinars had all the power, and they have had the power for quite some time now because it's more live, it's more engaging. Get people to put their hands up, they can ask questions, right? Instead of just listening, they can watch a presentation like this, for example, right? But the power now is in the live, right? And I'm talking about there's Insta Live, there's Facebook Live, there's Periscope, there's YouTube, right? The power is in live because, again, it creates engagement. It helps build. It helps people. I've seen people go from, not even following a particular Facebook group to becoming fans and watching live streams every single day. And I guarantee you that those people are going to turn into customers if they aren't already, right? And that's where they become worth thousands of dollars because they become a customer, then they're likely to become a coaching student and so on, join masterminds and so on and so forth. And those things are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, I say that live is a power, and some of you who do actually follow me on Facebook, for example, and YouTube, that you're probably sitting there going, "Well, hang on, dude. Like, why don't you do live?" I do actually do live. The issue a lot of the time is actually the internet speed and connection, which disallows me to do so. So, what I'm trying to find is a strategy that I can apply long term to my business that suits me. Right? Remember, this is your business. This is your business. You're in control. This is not a job where you have to follow this and that. You don't have to do this and that, right? You pick and choose what works for you and your business. And I am wanting to get live involved in my business, but until I can find the technology that can back me in the future that I believe I have, right? I'm not going to apply that. Okay. Now, with that being said, I will I will actually be going live today, and I plan on doing it for as long as I possibly can. And I'm hoping that I can sustain that, provided the internet continues to work for me. My plan and my vision is to build a mansion in the Philippines and to be living there full time. Right, and the internet there isn't the greatest thing on the planet. The last 2 times that I've gone there, the first time my live videos were terrible. The second time I couldn't even get them on, right? So I thought, well, what's the point of being consistent, right? Showing up every single day for these people, and they're only going to be disappointed. So my focus on the future is to be doing webinars, all right? So no, I'm not hypocritical. I'm more than willing to do them. I want to do them, right? I still love doing the daily videos, and I have people watching. I get regular followers and watchers and listeners who'd be commenting on this and that, right? Who'd be asking about this and that, and they in turn turns into customers and prospects and leads and so on and so forth. But I'm telling you that the power is in the live now. I've seen people now combine live and webinars, right? And I'm sure they're making money from it because these are top earners that are actually doing stuff, not just talking about it. Okay, so I'm encouraging you to go live as much as you possibly can and just simply teach what it is that you're actually learning. Now, I know that doesn't seem like an actual an email list building tip, but I'm telling you, the reason I'm telling you is because simply going live is going to create engagement. People are going to be interested in what you're doing, which is going to allow you to turn them into prospects. In other words, they're going to be subscribers, at which point, once they join your list, then you can go ahead and start deploying your email marketing strategy. Now, if you don't actually have a strategy, you're probably wondering what now. And I want to give you two things to actually do. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else for that matter, subscribe to that channel because obviously that's your preference. Okay, subscribe there. There'll be a ton more of this kind of content. In fact, these in-depth trainings that I'm putting together, I'll be putting together twice a week, and I'm planning to extend it to 3. Okay, so you're going to benefit a whole hell of a lot from subscribing to this channel. And if you want more, what I want you to do is click on the link below where I'm going to give you a PDF, right? That's going to teach you about your first 1,000 email subscribers and a whole hell of a lot more, because I put together a Rolodex essentially for you that's going to give you access to different video trainings that I've done throughout my career, as well as PDFs and resources that I believe will help you in your building your online marketing game. So I hope you enjoyed this email list building strategy video. If you did, again, go ahead and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on my email list where I can show you really how it's actually done on a day-to-day basis. Take care, much love, and I'll talk to you again soon.